up everyone, my name is Marie, welcome to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video I am building something I haven't built in a very long time. It's actually university housing, so it's like an actual dorm. It functions as a dorm as well because if you know this, or maybe you don't know this, but when you build official like university housing, official dorms in The Sims, you're not allowed to use any stoves or grills or anything like that, which I always think is a little bit annoying because it's basically a regular house just filled with students. Why wouldn't they be allowed to cook, you know? Like for me, it makes no sense. But that is how it works in The Sims. So this actually works as university housing, which I thought was so fun. I haven't done this in a very long time, and I'm very excited about how this one came out. I was really trying to keep it very simple and maybe try to keep the price down a little bit, the price that you pay per semester if you're actually playing the game and you have your Sims live in university housing. I was kind of trying to keep that in mind. That being said, I'm not exactly sure how much it ends up costing like per semester. I'm not exactly sure. I didn't test that. But I feel like it shouldn't be too bad. I think what makes it more expensive is the amount of items that you use in the build and the amount of like expensive items. Like the more items you have and the more expensive the items are, the more the cost per semester is going to be, which makes sense. So I really try to keep that in mind. So we have a little kitchenette in here, and for the rest, I really kept the bedrooms very, very minimal. They're basically just move-in ready for any type of Sim. They are fully furnished, so your Sim can just move into the dorms and they'll have a bed to sleep in and a desk to use. They need to share desk space and stuff like that. But it's all in the house and it's basically move-in ready, but it's just not super personalized. The shared areas, like the living room space and the kitchen and stuff, or like the kitchenette, I guess, are a little bit more detailed. I tried to make it look a little bit messy and old as well. You'll definitely see that this is not a fancy house by any means. It is definitely old, and the furniture in here is also very old and thrifted and a little bit dirty, you know, like it's not the nicest place, but I feel like it turned out super cozy. I'm just overall very happy with how this one came together. This house also has a basement, as you can probably already tell. We have a little staircase outside going downstairs into a basement that has some natural light coming through, like some actual daylight coming through, because there is like a door with some windows going into the basement. And at first I wanted to make that a bedroom, and then I was like, no, of course not. These students, they need to have a party hangout basement. So that's what I turned it into. We have a basement. I think there is a karaoke machine in there, which is a little bit expensive, so you could always delete that if you don't want it there. But there is a karaoke machine, a ping pong table, there is a keg stand, there is a darts board, I believe. I put that in there as well. It's been like a week since I built this, so I'm not exactly remembering what all I put in there, but I'm very happy with how this one came out. And I should have mentioned this at the start, but the house has space for 6 Sims total, which I think would also be a good thing for like keeping the cost per semester down a little bit, because you're gonna share this with 5 other Sims. So it's pretty crowded in here. We have 2 bathrooms to share amongst 6 Sims. I feel like that is realistic. You know, that's going to be a little bit of a struggle and maybe not super comfortable all the time, but it is realistic. So we have 2 full bathrooms. One of them, the upstairs bathroom, has a double sink, so that's pretty nice. I could totally imagine that being nice in real life if you want to like just brush your teeth when you get ready for bed or something like that. You can do that with 2 Sims at the same time. Of course, Sims don't actually really need to do that. And I also placed in, what I did do to kind of try and fix that problem is I placed the shower from university, which I'm fairly sure, I'm not exactly sure, but I think it works in a way where Sims can just take a shower and they won't be embarrassed when someone else walks into the bathroom. So it's not the open shower, it's the one with a little curtain. So I think you can use that in a way where, you know, one Sim can be using the shower and then the other one can still be using the sink. I think it works that way, but I'm not exactly sure, but I think so. And then obviously I had to park a couple of bikes out because I believe that university was the pack where bicycles were first introduced. I'm not exactly sure, but I think so, right? I think university came with bikes for the first time. I, for one, was very excited about that because I'm Dutch. And, you know, if you know, you know, we get around on our bikes. And I also always feel like Britechester, it reminds me a little bit of Amsterdam. It is definitely not like entirely inspired, but it's not supposed to look like Amsterdam, but I feel like they definitely took some inspiration and they took Amsterdam and maybe like some British cities or whatever. It kind of reminds me of Amsterdam in a way, and I really, really enjoy that. So for me, it feels very familiar, especially when you like park all the bikes out and stuff. I just think that it's very cute, and I really like this world. I haven't built here in such a long time. It's literally been months. Maybe even a year. I'm not exactly sure when I built here last, but it's definitely a long time ago. And I'm building on this 20 by 15 lot in Britechester, which is in the middle part of the world. So it's not on the Britechester University side or the Foxbury side, it's in that little middle area, which I thought was the safest bet. So you could have students from both universities actually staying or living in this house, which I think also happens when you live, you know how there is obviously dorms for the universities, but there is also lots where you can build your own university building or university housing from scratch, basically like this, on either side of the universities. And I'm not exactly sure if you'll get mixed, like, roommates, maybe. I don't actually know that. But I feel like when you are in the quote-unquote neutral area, if that makes sense, I feel like you'll for sure get mixed, like, roommates from both universities, but I'm not exactly sure. But that might be a fun little storyline for like rivalry between the universities, between the different schools. I think that's kind of fun, actually. But you can see that we are moving on to the inside of the house, and we do have a little kitchenette. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to have a stove. But, you know, I kind of also like that because it gives you a little bit of an incentive to actually leave the house. And I really tried to keep that in mind for the rest of the build as well. So we do have, for example, one very old little crappy computer, which is not the nicest, but there is one computer that you will have to share with your 5 roommates. So that's not ideal. So if you want to actually get some studying done, you might want to travel to the library or to the university commons. You can do some studying there. There is also not a whole lot of space. You know how when you're playing university, you will always get that like big presentation board that you will have to work on continuously throughout the semester to like work on your end of semester presentation, I guess. That thing, you always have to like pull that out of your inventory and drag it, put it somewhere, and then work on it. There is a little bit of space that for that, like in this house probably somewhere, but maybe for that sort of a thing, you might want to travel to the commons or the library as well, where you'll have a little bit more space. And then obviously if you want to get a hot meal, or if you just want to get a proper meal in general, you know, not just a microwave or a fridge meal, you can travel to the commons as well to actually get some food. So it's actually nice that there's an incentive to leave the house. It's not just all here, which is definitely something I've done in the past for university housing. I was just like, you know what? We're just gonna like include everything, maybe no stove, but there's gonna be super personalized rooms, and there's gonna be a full-on study space with multiple computers that are expensive and luxurious. And that's all fun, but it's not realistic. So for this one, I was really trying to keep it realistic, and with that, maybe, hopefully, potentially also keeping the price down a little bit. But that I'm not exactly sure. I tried though. I definitely chose cheap furniture. You'll also see that once we moved on to the bedrooms. And at first, I really tried to keep this like a limited pack. But I always make the same mistake where I'm like, yeah, we can try. We can see if we can keep it limited pack. And then I don't set a restriction for myself beforehand. And then I just start building and furnishing. And then it ends up having a gazillion packs because there was no restriction there to begin with. So that failed, of course. But I did use a lot of the university stuff. But, you know, I also used a lot of city living stuff. I used these very cheap eco lifestyle chairs. I used base game, which obviously is not that big of a problem, but I also used high school years. I think there's a bin from Get to Work. So I believe I definitely used multiple packs, quite a few of them, which is unfortunate, but you know, I do feel like this build turned out really cute, so maybe it's worth it. I don't know. I even used some of the camping pack stuff. What is the camping pack called? Camping Outdoor Retreat. Oh my goodness, I really had to think about that for a second. It's Outdoor Retreat because Outdoor Retreat comes with that cereal box. That is just chef's gifts for an item in a kitchenette of a messy university housing dorm situation. It's just perfect, so I used that in there as well. And then over here, we have the downstairs bedroom. So there's one shared bedroom downstairs and there's 2 shared bedrooms upstairs and also an extra bathroom upstairs as well. That's the one with the double sink. And I did give all the bedrooms their own little color scheme so that they are very different from each other, but furniture-wise, they're very similar. I just went all out with the cheap university dorm furniture, which I think makes a lot of sense. And for the rooms, I didn't personalize them. So I think that would be a lot of fun for gameplay as well. So you can just like have your sim move in here and maybe put some of your own decorations in the room and personalize it a little bit more that way. But I also feel like for gameplay, in the university like situation, I think your roommates also bring decorations. So it's nice to have some services free of clutter so that they can like put their little plan down or maybe their laptop. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what they bring. But I do think they bring some stuff that they want to put places. So that is something you can do. And then over here we have the downstairs bathroom. The bathrooms are hideous. I used that checkered floor and then the matching wallpaper. It's absolutely disgusting in the best way. I thought it was so fun for the university housing. It is so over the top and it's just so bad. But I really feel like this is a super old house. It kind of looks like a house from the 70s to me when you look at it from the exterior. So maybe this is just like a house from the 70s that just hasn't really been updated. Maybe it has been updated a little bit here and there, but I also used those old weathered countertops from the city living pack, so that looks very old, and I just feel like this house hasn't really been touched ever since it was built, and it just looks very old, and it's probably a little bit moldy, you know, like stuff like that. But for student living, I feel like it's actually perfect and super realistic to me. I used to live in a moldy old student house for a couple years as well, so I'm definitely familiar with it. And I could just kind of smell it, you know, it's kind of gross, but that's just what it is. It'll stay with you forever. It's an experience. And then up here, we have 2 bedrooms as well. Like I said, this one is pink and purple, which I feel like is so bad. I feel like it looks terrible in the best way. Once again, I feel like it's so nice. It's super matchy-matchy with the university cheap furniture. And then the very old pink wallpaper. The wallpapers I used in the bedrooms, also in the main living room area, if I'm not mistaken, is from the basement kit, which I thought was just so perfect. We also have a little hallway space where the staircase is, that is basically just a hallway filled with old stuff that doesn't really belong to anyone, and it's just kind of stored there, which is also all from the basement kit. I felt like the basement kit was actually perfect for like old university housing that is a little bit messy, you know. It was just super perfect. It really came in handy for this one. So that is a pro tip if you want to build some university housing and you do happen to have the basement kit. It goes hand in hand, like it's absolutely perfect. And I did try to make the bedrooms a little bit cozy. I gave them all a rug and stuff, but like I said, I didn't really place any personalized items other than just the furniture pieces and maybe like a little light or a little plant here and there to make it look somewhat homey. But for the rest, it's all ready for gameplay, which is really kind of what I was trying to go for with this build in general. And then we also have the basement, which I think is the best part as far as the students, like the people that live here, are concerned. So down here is a nice little space for parties. If they want to invite over like their university friends, their classmates, they can just all come together in this basement, which I feel like is such a win. That is definitely something not everybody has, you know, so they have a full-on space for parties here. And I used some very old furniture in here. As you can see, the couch from Werewolves, and then that really old leather chair from the basement kit again. We have a ping pong table, we have a keg stand, we have a dartboard, we have a karaoke machine, so that is actually pretty nice. I was considering putting in a bar, but I was like, you know what, maybe that is a little bit too nice for them. Like, they probably just go to the supermarket and buy their drinks and like get it down here in the basement and party it up that way. I don't think they'd have a full-on bar, you know? Maybe you want to give it to them. Like, if you can obviously download this house and like redo the basement a little bit and give them a bar and maybe even a proper dance floor, I don't know, whatever you want to do basically. But there is a basement, or you could maybe make like extra bedrooms down there as well. It's whatever you want to do. You could definitely fit a bedroom as well as a bathroom down there, so that would also be a possibility. We also have a dumpster. I thought that was a perfect opportunity to place one. So we have a dumpster, a little boxing thingy in the backyard, and a picnic table. And at the very last minute, I also decided to place the basketball hoop. I thought that was really fun for university housing. There is quite a couple of activities included in this build, which I think is actually a lot of fun. And then I also ended up placing a gaming console because I thought it was only fair. It might be a little bit expensive, but one of the roommates probably brought it over, you know, I could totally see that be a thing, and then they'll at least have some games to play on their little old TV. But that's basically it for this build, so let's jump into the game and I'll show you the build in real time. So here we have the house in the game. It's also fall in my game right now, and I feel like that really suits this build for some reason. It's a little bit sad looking, and that's exactly what I need it to do, which sounds really dumb, but it's just very realistic for university housing. The house shape itself is very, very simple, as you can see, but I feel like it's pretty realistic. So over here we have the little staircase leading to the front porch, and over here we have the basketball area, and then we have the tiniest little backyard here as well, with an area to work out and a picnic table, and we also have a dumpster as well as a regular outdoor bin. I'm just now noticing that that is maybe a little bit too much, but you know, it might be nice to have both. We have a couple of bikes parked, and I will first show you the basement because that's the most exciting part. So over here we have the party basement for the students, which I really feel like is the unique selling point, you know, for this house. You could maybe put some more activities down here, but I wanted there to be enough space for the Sims to walk around, maybe do some dancing, because we do have a stereo. There is a keg stand. They need to be able to stand around the ping pong table, so I feel like it's nice to have it a little bit more spaciously set up this way, but I feel like this should be functional. Then we go back upstairs, and over here we have the front door leading you straight into the common area of the house. So we have a little entryway space with some storage, and there is a dining table over here. We have a shared bookcase, and I thought it'd be nice to give these people a fish. I don't know why, but I've been obsessed with a fish bowl. I've been placing it everywhere, and so I thought maybe these students want to have a little fish to take care of, so that's cute. And then over here is a little kitchenette. They are not allowed to have a stove, but they do have a microwave and also a coffee maker, which I feel like is very appropriate because these students are always pulling all-nighters to study for their tests, I feel like. And then over here is the living room. So it's very mismatched, and the furniture is old and cheap, but it is nice. They have like a 3-seater couch, the tiniest TV, and also a gaming console. And over here is the downstairs bedroom. I feel like it would suck to have this bedroom down here, because if you're trying to sleep and there's still a bunch of people like chatting in the living room or like playing games and being loud, like this room is going to be very annoying, but you know, it is what it is. So there is a bedroom here which is shared. They have a shared desk as well, and also a wardrobe. And over here is the downstairs bathroom. So the bathroom's actually pretty big and it feels kind of empty, but you know, it is what it is. Like, I didn't really want to give them a tub. That felt too luxurious. So they just have a shower, toilet, and sink. Then over here is that little hallway that I was talking about, where we just have a bunch of old stuff stored from the basement kit. I thought that was so appropriate. And then when we go upstairs is where we have a landing with a shared study space. This is where we have a tiny old computer. It's old and crappy, but it works. So if you need to use it real quick when you're studying at home, you can use this one, or you could obviously travel to the commons or the library. That's also possible. Over here is the pink and purple bedroom, which kind of hurts my eyes in the best way. We also have a yellow rug in here, so that looks good, I guess. There is a wardrobe over here and also a shared desk, just like the bedroom downstairs. And then this bedroom over here, the yellow and blue one, is kind of mirrored. They have the same setup, just in a different color scheme, and also some shared furniture pieces in here. And then over here is the upstairs bathroom with a double sink, which is kind of nice, and then a shower and a toilet as well. But that is basically it for this house. So this cozy and university housing is up on the gallery, and as you can see, I ended up using a bunch of packs. I won't lie, this is way more packs than I thought I'd used, but it basically uses everything, so I'm so sorry about that. It has 3 bedrooms, but space for 6 Sims, and then it has 2 bathrooms, and I built it on a 20 by 15 in the middle area of Brightchester. So if you want to place it in your game, then that is where it goes. But that's gonna do it for today's video, so I really hope that you enjoyed this one. You can obviously go ahead and download it off the gallery like I just showed you. My username on the gallery is Simmary Sims. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and on TikTok if you'd like. My username on there is Simmary Sims as well. If you're not subscribed to my channel already, feel free to do so, and if you want to be notified of every single time I upload a video, just click that little bell icon and you should be fine. I also live stream over on Twitch a few times a week, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and give me a follow over on twitch.tv/Simmary Sims. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!